So yeah, here's where we left off, and now let's take care about that wristband here. First of all, we could, for performance sake, delete a few edges here on that guy. So let me switch to the top view, go to edge mode, and I double click on this edge loop here, shift double click on the next one, shift double click on the next one. So we don't need those edges there. So let's select the next one as well. And then say delete edge here. So click on that button. Okay, so we have a bunch of edges less on that piece. And now let's center the pivot of that guy. And let's duplicate this. So hit Control D and then go to the top view and bring it right below that other guy, somewhere with a little distance, somewhere about here. Okay. I think that's okay. And now let's go in here and check out that translation here of that copy of that duplicate. So let's select that number and hit Control C to copy that number. And now we go to our duplicate special tool here and say, okay, we want to copy that. In Z, paste that number in. It's in my case 5.452. And I need 4 copies, so dial that down to 4, and the rest of it should work fine. So let's hit apply. Okay, so we get the one side done here. Okay, so select all the 6 pieces here. Let's group those, hit Control G, and then with that group selected, hit Control D to duplicate that group and then scale that group -1 in X. Okay, so we got the 2 rows here, and then we take the first one here and yeah, again let's hit Control D to duplicate that guy and move it to the center of the grid. So I move it in X and then hold down X and middle mouse over the center of the grid here. And then I move it from the top view somewhere I want it to be. So somewhere about here. Okay. And now we have to, before we duplicate this guy, we have to scale that out. Okay, let's try to scale that guy. And let's go to perspective and see how that looks if we smooth it out, because yeah, it almost also stretched those lines here on the border. So let's try to smooth that guy and check it out. Yeah, but it's still looking all right. Okay, it changed that border here a little bit. So if you compare it to the original one, if we smooth that out, yeah, well that's okay. That's just a minor difference. I don't take care about that. Okay, so with that done, we go in and do the same on this guy. But first of all we have to freeze the transforms on that, and then we go in and say Edit, Duplicate Special, and let's just hit Apply. And there you go. So we got 4 copies, and let me take a look at that. I think that's all right. So in here later on we put some other geometry. So with that done, yeah, let's select all of those and hit 1 to go to low poly view on all of those objects. And now let's try something. And I know, yeah, what we could do now to bring this into a shape of a wristband here, what we could do is, yeah, just create some bones in there, and or some point constraints or something. That's something we could do, but that's something I don't do right now. Okay, so I'm gonna bend this and try to bring this into position. Okay, so with all those selected here, let's hit Control G to group those, and then with that group selected, center the pivot. And then we go in and say, okay, create a bend deformer under your animations tab, create deformers, nonlinear, and bend. And again, go here to inputs of that bend, click on curvature, middle mouse, and bend it a little bit, so it's bending in the wrong direction again. So we can fix that by rotating the bend deformer. So let's rotate that guy negative 90 degrees in Z, and then negative 90 degrees in X as well. Okay, so let me check it from the side view, how that looks here. Okay, zoom out. Let me take the curvature and yeah, let's try something like this. Okay, from this point on, it's a good idea to save your scene, because yeah, if the bend here is not right, you can later load in that scene file and then redo that. Because when we now want to move that group here, and that's what we have to do, we first have to delete the history. So it's always a good idea to go in and say, okay, I want to save the scene here. I call mine 32, the wristband part 6. And from this point in the video, yeah, I already used that that scene that we just saved here, because yeah, the bend that I did the first time, it could have been a little bit more. So this time I'm selecting the bend deformer and give it a little bit more curvature here. So click on the curvature and hit Control and middle mouse and bend it even a little bit more. So right now I'm having 1.2. Let's try something like 1.2. And now let's select one object, hit the up arrow key to go to the group and delete the history. Now let's rotate that group 90 degrees and X. And now let's go to the side view and move this guy into its position. We can turn off in the side view here nurbs curves and nurbs surfaces. And now we bring this guy somewhere where it should be. So let's check it out from the perspective view. So if everything is alright, so we could bring it a little bit closer to that watch. Not too close. Okay. So let's go with this one here. Okay, if you take a look at that, yeah, now we have that wristband here coming down, and yeah, if you take a look at some images, you will see that the lock of that wristband down here is almost the same length of that watch, or it's even a little bit longer. So right now it's looking a little bit weird, but yeah, let's just leave it like it is for now. And yeah, let's pause the video and let's finish this up in the next one here.